Now it's quiet. Do another video for this one. I'll show you how quick it turns on. So this is a 42-inch Sharp. I had a telly like this and it was a 32-inch or 37. It weren't as big as this one. So that's got my one for all going on it. So let's turn it on. And look at that. On within a second. That is the quickest telly I've ever known to turn on. Bang. Never seen a telly turn on that quick. Even my new telly don't turn on that quick.
That should be a cause for concern.
Fastest turning on telly ever.
And it's a golden night for Britain's paracyclists at the World Championships in Glasgow. Here in the east, the impact on the region's multi-million-pound tourist industry as the wet and windy weather continues. And Silverstone gears up to welcome 100,000 people this weekend for the MotoGP.
Viewing angle. Not a bad viewing angle at all, to be honest.
Good evening. The man widely seen as the Kremlin's most vocal critic, Alexei Navalny, has told his supporters not to lose the will to resist after having his prison sentence extended from 9 to 19 years. Mr. Navalny was found guilty of inciting and financing extremist activity and creating an extremist organisation, charges he denies. He's already serving a 9-year term for fraud and contempt of court in a case which many see as politically motivated. Today's court proceedings were held in the prison in Melitopol, where he's been held, and from where our Russia editor Steve Rosenberg reports.
This is the closest we were allowed to get to Russia's most famous prisoner. We'd been let inside the high-security jail, where Alexei Navalny was already incarcerated. But journalists weren't allowed into the makeshift courtroom. All we could do was watch on a screen.
It's a nice bright
At
picture.
this trial behind bars, the Kremlin critic was found guilty on extremism charges and handed a new 19-year prison sentence. He'll be transferred to a so-called special regime colony and harsher conditions.
We may have been allowed in here to watch the verdict on a TV screen, but keep in mind that in this court case, the actual proceedings were closed to the press and to the public and held in a high-security prison.
I can't retune it until I get the original remote.
Feels like an understatement.
Later,
I've ordered the remote for it. It was really cheap, but I can't retune it. Seems to be stuck on ITV. So it says DTV there, but it doesn't work. So I need the original remote. At least it's really cheap. Can't retune it. How annoying. But at least HDMI works.
To continue all possible trials against all possible dissidents.
that includes this man. Igor Girkin is no pro-democracy liberal. The Russian nationalist backs the war in Ukraine, but has criticised Vladimir Putin's handling of it. Now he's under arrest as the Kremlin tries to crack down
I'm gonna sell this one now because I don't need three 32-inch TVs. That one's for sale now.
And with Alexei Navalny predicting fresh charges of
Plus I've still got the other one.
leaders in the city of Vladimir, the regional capital, Poland. What is it about Alexei Navalny that the Kremlin so fears?
Rita, if you've done what the Kremlin has done in recent years, in other words, driven a steamroller over the political landscape here, crushing any potential rival, any potential critic challenger, squashing any hint of
Actually, it looks a little bit
you
better.
probably want to make sure that your most vocal critic had no way of reaching the political stage, the Russian political stage.
On it.
Navalny is the Kremlin's most vocal critic, right? He has exposed corruption at the heart of Russian power, and crucially, he has proved himself to be the only Russian opposition leader capable of mobilizing large numbers of people, particularly young people, getting them to come out onto the streets to take part in anti-government protests across the country. That is why the Kremlin views him as an enemy, as a threat, as a danger. Particularly these
Pretty
days,
good in the dark.
war in Ukraine raging on, and the Kremlin wants people to rally around the flag. He wants people to rally around the government. He wants people to praise President Putin, not to criticise him.
Okay, many thanks.
Nice telly.
Our Russia editor.
Big telly.
Meanwhile, President Putin has had to contend with an attack on a Russian Navy ship, which Ukraine says it carried out using an unmanned sea drone, which was carrying nearly half a ton of explosives. The ship was docked in the port of Novorossiysk, which is a major hub for Russian exports. A video released by the Ukrainian security services appears to show such a weapon hitting the side of a Russian naval vessel. From Kiev, our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse reports.
In waters dominated by Russia, Ukraine relies on stealth. Under the cover of night, this sea drone moves towards the